away from home, got no books, no radios, no phones. It wasn't a landline phone. There was nothing. No television, no school. Visitors once a week for about 10 minutes, maybe 15, if you push it on a Sunday. And for most people, they'd look back and say, oh, how terrible for you. Oh my God. And I go, I was an apprentice monk. At that age, I was a monk. It was quiet. There was nobody to talk to all day long. There was nothing to read. There was nothing to do. And I went inward. And so instead of being why me, woe is me, and despondent and depressed, it was the beginning of my philosophy of life. Always look for the gift. There's a gift to everything that happens. Things happen to us in our life, Shadow. You know that. There's turning points. If you could go back and do it over, it wouldn't be the same. Meaning, literally, the people you have in your life now and the understanding you have in your life is enhanced and much greater at a higher level of frequency than it ever would have been had you not been through everything you've been through in your life. All of us. All that you've gone through, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, with Scientology and all that garbage and all this stuff. Everybody's had their path that's got us right here. And so, if you look at everything with no regrets, no do-overs, you take it and you realize everything happened to you that was supposed to happen to you.
That's right.
Everything.
Yeah.
I look up, it's like, for those who've been following this cancer journey, and I still got a couple more surgeries coming up, I think. It's a never-ending gift. Because when it happens, I go, oh my God. You know, my wife is like, oh my God, again and again and again and again and again. And it's like, no, it's a gift. Because when it comes, and I get through it, and I endure, more than endure, I flourish. I actually feel younger. I feel pretty. I feel pretty. Shadow, you know me, 15 years ago, I was older looking then than I am now. And except for a few pounds, which I tell people, don't feed me, don't feed me. Everywhere I go, everybody's feeding me. And I, being a poor kid, I never turned away free food, right? Free hugs, free food, anyway. But by applying things that I learned in that hospital bed at 8.5 years old, and applying things I learned when I was 18 in Hawaii, and applying the things I've learned in my older age going to India and everything, not only do I feel like I should do this, I feel it is my duty to do this. This is not something I just wake up, well, do I want to do this or not? It's like somebody called me this morning at the hotel from Arizona, and they were talking about booking me with a group of these authors, new age authors, and and gonna get thousands of people there and talk and all this stuff. And I'm going, in some resort, and the people pay thousands of dollars, and I go, you know what? That doesn't sound like me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to share a platform with a bunch of people that are talking think positive and GPAC, all these other Wayne Dreyer and all these people, good people, beautiful people. They got their own audience. But when you get 15 presenters with all this, I have a different energy. Mm-hmm. This is, and I'm saying this, I spoke 6,000 people in India, in Mumbai, okay? There's more energy in this room right here with this group than there was with the 6,000. So it's not numbers anymore. Because I've been doing this for 400 or 500 people, 50 people, whatever. And I found when I get a dozen people or so, 10 people, 8 people, and they're serious, I feel like there's value in what I'm saying to them because they're not just being entertained. I'm not an entertainer. I'm Irish, I speak a lot, so that's part of the thing, but I'm not a business. I charge nobody ever for anything I do. And yet, to the love that I spread, apparently it comes back because I'm breaking even. And to me, that's a great philosophy, break even. But you have to come into this world to give something. Each of us have a different talent. Your music, right? Great. I mean, don't look down on that as insignificant. Because we were talking about that. In fact, when I was driving up here, I don't normally listen to religious channels, but it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in a fog, you know, and I'm looking for something to keep me alert. You know, and the only station I get was Bakersfield, and there was some religious, and they go, today's scripture, make sure you read this today, is Psalms 100, right? And I go, what the heck? And then, what is it? You know, so I had that whole question. And then we went to the thing yesterday, and we looked it up, and it's about voicing joy, music, singing,
yes,
you know, which was the perfect message. So there's no small act and gift that you can give to the world. This year, 2024, is filled with so much fear, anger, hate. I'm right, you're wrong, the other guys are bad, these guys are good. It's going to take a balance of people like ourselves with our energy to give music, to give a voice to laughter, to give love, to give hugs. In other words, there has to be a balance in the universe. And it's not a million people against, you know, it's not a numbers game. Because a handful of people that have raised their vibration and are vertically in tune with the intent of the universe, which is to love, we can change millions. We can counterbalance that. So I'm going out this year and I'm telling people, because everybody, oh, there's Israeli war and Gaza, and then there's Ukraine, and you know, the Russians, and there's damn Biden and damn Trump, and it's like, I go, holy cow, just nobody's your enemy.
that's right.
Everybody's your brother and everybody's your sister. There's no them. There's we. And we is really one. So I'm going out there and I'm basically telling people, believe in one. And when the Jewish nation was told that they were the chosen people and all that, I really believe in my heart and everything that God's intention was at that time, because there was all these religions out there with multiple gods and all this stuff. His thing, worship one God. Everybody worship the same one God. Pick one, worship one, and then we're all in the same. Well, didn't exactly work too good. They're still separate. The one God apparently has separations. So there is no separation. We are living in a times, according to the United Nations, WHO, is that the World Health Organization? Mm-hmm. The number one crisis in the world, you ready for this? Is not malaria, not polio, not even the flu. The number one crisis in the world is loneliness. Mm. I couldn't believe they actually put that to words, because it's something I felt. This generation, especially the Z, the X, all these numbers and letters, all these young people, especially young people, and old people, which is expected, you know, the people, their friends are dying off, they're older. But young people's a new phenomenon. We have young people out there that are hungry for really a real hug. Not, you know, that's not real.
Right.
Well, I got 10,000 likes. Who cares? You know, I got 1.5 million followers. Who cares? So everybody's an instant star of nothing. It's like there's no substance. It's ether. It's less than that. But people, because I get more parents coming to me the last 1.5 years with suicidal children. The kids, and you talk to the kids, they don't want to be here. They don't understand. They don't. So this year, 2024, it's incumbent upon all of us, whatever your talents are, if it's writing a new book that gives hope, like you might do, or it's when you're driving people around doing your work, You bring people smiles. Once in a while, you engage in a conversation, you tell them something that they might have needed to hear. I mean, you've done that. I know that. You with your music, you're going to develop that. Shadow these all over the world. All right, so each of you take your individual talents. Look at it as a gift. Not everybody could be you. You're the best you that anybody could be. You're it, right? And infuse your energy, your vibration, and your love. And I'm saying this to the group because this group's pretty powerful meditators here. Raise your frequency. You will make a difference. You don't have to march for world peace. I'm sorry, it ain't going to do anything. And protest, and there's a time and a place for that. But right now, we don't need any more enemies. Nobody's going to be happy this election. Nobody.
That's right.
Whoever's elected, half the country's going to be mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't join that. Make up your mind right now, you know what? It's in God's hands. Literally, it's in God's hands. Unless you're working in that field and you have some control. You have no control over this. And living in California, our vote means nothing. I mean, whoever we vote for doesn't mean anything. It's so vast one way. Doesn't make any difference what you vote for. So let it go. I'm saying this therapeutically as your spiritual doctor. Let it go. Doesn't make any difference. So I am feeling so overwhelmed this year. I'm safe to say this with the group here. I am so overwhelmed. Every morning I get up, I feel overwhelming love. I mean, always felt that. No, I wake up, excuse me, I want to kiss the sky. I mean, it's like that kind of, it's like I feel embraced, I feel loved. And there's a part of me that wants to share that. And it comes across as crazy. I mean, doing stuff like this and going traveling and going around the world, doing all this crazy stuff. But it's driven only by love. If I die, you never remember my name, no problem. But if you remember about love, why are we here? What's our purpose? Everything that we did in our life is to teach us love. If we had a crappy childhood, if we had made huge mistakes in life and marriage and jobs and whatever it is, everything has led us to becoming a better us. It's if we look for the gifts. What's happening this year coming up is people feel beat. They feel helpless. They can't do anything. They can't change anything because they're trying to change others instead of changing themselves. You change you, everything else in perspective changes. You see things in an entirely different light. It's just so I don't know how to put it in words. I've had moments in my life where I felt things that anybody know anything about Orbs? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you see pictures and people got orbs and stuff. I had there you go. They're real, but to see a blazing orb without a camera, but this size, like a basketball. I don't know if I shared this story online or anywhere. I was meditating in Oakland, where I had my first house, and I was downstairs, there was a basement, and I'm meditating, and all of a sudden in the meditation, I feel overwhelmed with love. And I got my eyes closed, and it's like lights are lighting up, right? So I open my eyes, and in a corner of the wall, where the wall comes together, two corners, there's this basketball size blazing sphere of sun. An orb. It was vibrating. It was pulsating. It was like, you could see, there was energy in it. And I just, typical me, most people go, oh, well, what's this? Let's get a camera. It's just, yeah, here I am. Yeah, okay, like I expected. And I'm looking at this thing, it could have been 5 minutes or it could have been 2 hours. I have no idea how long it was. And it was just pulsating. It was an intelligent being of light. It was no longer just an orb. It was a living, I was going to say breathing, but that's not the right word, but a living, pulsating energy, right? And that energy was just light. There was no substance to it. It was just all light. But the love was just, and then all of a sudden, as I'm looking at it, it explodes. It goes in a big, like a sonic boom, boom, and it like shards of glass, but it's light. And it just penetrated my heart and my brain and my body, just. So all that was that orb was like right into me, right? Like, and I thought, oh my God, everybody must have woke up the whole neighborhood. I run upstairs and my wife's looking at me like, what's up? Well, didn't you hear the explosion? No, what explosion? No lights on in the neighborhood. No, it didn't wake anybody up. My wife, what are you talking about? So I remembered that, and I was writing my first book, and I was writing an account of that. And I thought, damn, I should have asked questions. Now, what questions would I ask if I had a chance? Because I'm going to write about this experience. So I'm at my computer, and I'm typing up like 40 or 50 questions. Now, if this ever happens again, I got questions, right? I'm going to ask these questions. And just as I've typed it and sat up, boom, it's sitting right there.
Whoa.
I'm looking at it, it's looking at me, and we go through this hour or whatever it was. And you know what? I didn't ask one question. I had the questions on the screen of my computer. I just typed them. That was my intention. And it comes back and goes, no questions. Here it is, just love. I didn't ask one question. But I savored the experience. And the same thing, it blew up, nobody heard it, shards into me. And so when I wrote about it, I had to laugh because I was recalling the experience to write about it so I could share it. And there it is. I didn't control that, but it happened. And like all good intentions and plans in this esoteric world I live in, you don't ask questions. You don't analyze. You don't care why. I don't care who. Alls I knew was love, and that was it. I didn't have to understand anything else. Nothing. So it was interesting, we were talking yesterday about a friend of mine, Father Jack LaRocca, a Catholic priest, San Jose Diocese, who was retired. He's only 5 months older than I am. He was retired from San Jose and they shipped him out to Wyoming. Wow. Well, anyway, he's a heavy meditator and he got into Kriya yoga and all this stuff. So, he wasn't going to balance too well with the Catholic organization any longer. Put him to pastor. But when he was in Vietnam, he went back to Vietnam after serving there and he got a Bronze Star when he was there. And he came back as a civilian because he'd read an article about this Mountain Ard tribe that was being basically annihilated, exterminated. They thought they'd all be killed off eventually. There was, because they were helping the CIA with the war, and then the bad guys, the good guys, depending which side you're on, the VC was using them to, do stuff. And then when they cooperated with the Americans, they were getting killed. And when they cooperated with the bad guys, and they were losing on both sides. And he fell for them, so he joined some peace organization to go like Peace Corps or something. And he goes there. And he's working with this village, and he figured it out that these guys are sacrificial goats. Everybody's using them, and they're getting killed, right? And he was worried they were going to be gone. This village of hamlet of 300 people or so. And so he was trying to tell these people, no, you got to stop cooperating. And of course, when he started to tell them to stop cooperating with the CIA, and they put him on a hit list. Our government had him on a hit list. He was on an assassination list because he was a threat to the war movement of the Central Highlands.